Principles of path loss in mobile radio propagation through smartphone and CRFO. Okay. Now there are very important few keywords which comes with this title, and first of all is that testing and validation. Okay. Now, why do we need, first of all, this portion of study, just like we did the first experiment, we were still yet to do the Erlang in theory, but we did it in the lab. Similarly, we have not started the multipath propagation models in theory, but unfortunately in lab we have to start off with this experiment, okay, because the sequence otherwise won't be matching. So what I'm going to do is I will also, again, just like in the previous time, I'll be briefing you the requisite theory which is required for this experiment to be performed, and based on that we are going to conduct the experiment. Okay, so don't worry. So the first thing that is important is that testing and validation. Okay, these two words, testing and validation of the path loss. So this is another keyword, path loss of the mobile radio propagation. And as I said, you will need a smartphone and a CRFO. Okay. Now, what happens normally to understand this concept? Usually, when we consider a receive power, okay, PR, if I consider receive power will always be a function of the transmitted power, okay, minus some kind of a loss which we usually called as the path loss. Please, for everyone, focus on this, okay, because this is not been done in theory class, so you might find a little difficult at times. So receive power is a function of both the transmit power as well as a path loss. Now, transmit power is pretty much known to us, that this is the transmit power which is there from the transmitter or the base station that we know. The path loss part is where we are a little handicapped with. Why? Because this path loss is entirely dependent on the channel that we are referring to. The channel that we are referring to. Now, as we know that all of our study and all of our discussion is done with wireless channel, and wireless channel being completely random in nature, there is always a chance that the amount of path loss that is going to happen, okay, dictates the receiving power at the receiver. Why it is important to understand is this, that suppose I need a specific threshold of receive power, some threshold of receive power. So if we transmit power is known to us and it's constant throughout, suppose, so the only thing that dictates that how much the receive power is obtained from the receiver at the receiver for the user is by the path loss. So if the path loss is severely high, naturally your receive power will be severely low. Clear? And if the path loss is estimated as low, then definitely your receive power is sufficiently higher than the threshold. So the point is that we need to try to test and validate the environment. Please understand the term, the environment or the nature, okay, of fading, or where we are making the measurement of a particular wireless scenario. By particular measurement, what I mean is that suppose you live in an urban city. We all live in mostly in urban city, and suppose some of you will stay in some metro cities also. Unfortunately, I am staying in Vellore, which is not a metro city to be honest. But anyway, suppose there are divisions of cities also. So there are divisions of different types of cities. And now the point is that from urban city to suburban cities or rural environment, okay, the nature of fading will differ. Why? Simply because in urban city we have lots of buildings, okay, we have lots of interferers of different kinds, like the moving cars will be more, the maybe the lamp posts, okay, the street lights, what we call it, they also can provide as an interference. The number of people like residing in an urban city will be really huge. The building will be very tall. There will be office environment which is a complete different interferer altogether. So like that, there the nature of fading for an urban city is different to that of the rural environment, because if you take the rural environment, the number of high rises will be much lesser, the number of population will be comparatively lesser, the number of interference will be of different kind. For example, the trees will be more in a rural environment, right? Or maybe a hilly terrain. Suppose the hilly terrain is associated with a conventional rural environment. A city cannot have a very huge hill or something like that in general cases. Okay, so what I mean is that for the different set of measurement environment, the path loss calculated will be different. So in this experiment, what we are going to do, that each one of you individually will try to figure out the different signal quality, or the signal quality, or the nature of profiling of your signal strength in your particular locations, wherever you are in India, all throughout, or I don't know anyone from abroad or is there or not, but wherever you are, the environment in which you are in, we will try to test and validate the profiling of the path loss or the channel that we are residing in. Clear? So this is basically the experiment in a nutshell. So what we require is few components, or rather few elements, which we need to take consideration of. Now the thing is, first of all, this path loss that we are talking about, this is a random phenomena, because as I said, the channel will change, the interference will change, and hence the path loss will also change. But how do I get a hold of this path loss? So in order to get a hold of this path loss, ITU, the International Telecommunication Union, those who are the governing body or the standards, like standardized, that's just like an IEEE, like you all of might be knowing. ITU is also a standard. I think in the very first day when we started discussing WMC, I told you the standard governing body. So ITU has their own standard. So they have given us some standard profiling of different areas in which we are making the measurement. And based on that, they have also defined some of the path loss models. Okay, they are statistical models, there are empirical models, okay, or we call it the analytical models also. So just to show you that, just to show you for our own understanding, so this particular document that I'm looking at, okay, this document is for the ITU guidelines. This is a particular document. Now if you check here, that if I just happens to go up a little bit, see the element is test environment. See the line I'm highlighting on test environment. So what happens is that there are different test environment in which the measurements can be taken. Now you can observe that here they have defined in different ways. For example, urban macro cell scenario. Okay, so urban macro cell scenario means, you can see in typical urban macro cell scenario, the mobile station is located outdoors at street level and the fixed base station clearly above the surrounding building heights. This is what happens in almost all the scenarios that we look into, most of the cases, because as I said that almost every city that we are looking at is almost an urban scenario. But how we are defining it, as per the ITU standard, the mobile station is located outdoor and it will definitely have a height which is much smaller compared to a base station, and the base station will be clearly above the surrounding building heights. As for propagation condition, non or obstructed line of sights are common cases, that is both line of sight and non-line of sight will happen, since street level is often reached by a single diffraction over the rooftop. I'll come to that, not important as of now. Typical building heights in urban environments are over 4 floors. Building heights and density in typical urban macro cell are mostly homogeneous, and this is called as urban macro, or UMA as in short form. You don't need to understand many of the things over here, but the thing what I want you to understand, that for an urban macro cell scenario, macro cell, you can imagine, remember we have did the cell splitting. So macro cell is a bigger one, then you have micro cell, then you have pico cell. So basically that's how the division is. So basically in this ITU format, they have specified a particular region of measurement or an environment of measurement based on some standard protocol. Based on this, what they have done, if I go a little down, okay, if I go a little down and I come to here, you can see This is the urban macro. Yeah, this is the urban macro scenario. You can see in the left hand side. Okay. Now for urban macro scenario, for line of sight as well as for non-line of sight, they have defined such PL. PL means path loss, and this is the requisite equation that they have found out empirically. Now in this you can observe there is a requirement of D. I guess all of you are following it. This D. D is nothing but the distance of separation between the transmitter and the receiver, whereas FC is the carrier frequency of the signal or the signal of operation in that case. So if suppose it is a GSM signal, suppose you are focusing on that, then this FC will be 900 megahertz. That is what the question like answer is. And also you can observe that this is LOS. There are two ways of doing it. Okay, there are two ways, keeping in mind the different conditions being opted over here. Okay, but ideally what will happen, we might mostly will take this first one as one of the model other than this one. Okay, because in this case what happens, this DBP, which is again a parameter, it should be within this 5000 range. Okay, so ideally we will only consider this PL as a matter of fact, and that will be sufficient for us. But the point is that for line of sight and non-line of sight, you have different models in which you can fit in the values and you get the requisite PL or the path loss that is obtained. Now, if you know the path loss, whatever is obtained, and you know the transmitted power that you have, you subtract them and you get the final received power at the end. All right. So similarly, you can observe that there are urban micro scenarios. You can see in the left hand side, urban micro scenario for which the different path loss are also provided over here. Okay. So in this case, you can see the FC is given in gigahertz. In gigahertz range. So if it is in megahertz, you have to convert. Okay, if suppose it's 900 megahertz, you have to convert that in gigahertz and then you have to use it, something like that. Okay, and the distance is in meter. Okay, this D is in meter, that is the separation distance between the transmitter and the receiver. This part also we are not discussing as of now because we have not done it over, so I'm just keeping it for the time being. We don't need that as of now. So shadow fading standard deviation, that is a different equation altogether. So let me go back to this once again. So now let me just show you how we are going to do that. Till now, any doubt with what we are going to do? We are going to measure or estimate or test the channel, and based on that we are going to come up with a conclusion about the environment in which we are riding. Okay, so in that aspect, what we require is two things. One is called as Collaborative Radio Frequency Observatory, that is CRFO. This is a Government of India initiative, as well as we require the Try MySpeed app as an option. This Try MySpeed app is an option which is already, this is a standardized app available in Play Store. Okay, which is standardized in a sense that this is given by Try itself. So there are many other softwares also, many other apps are also present, but those apps we are not going to consider as such. Okay, so the CRFO in that aspect, CRFO is that it's an online observatory containing radio frequency measurement from various locations in India. Okay, so all throughout India we will get that. And for what purpose? Because here we have a database based on which we can have the national spectrum monitoring in India, the cognitive radio, for development of machine learning tools for wireless applications. So for all this purpose, the CRFO has been made available. Okay, and the Try app that I told you, that this is also a specific Try app which is convenient tool to measure the received signal strength, uplink data speed, downlink data speed, and other network related stuff. There is another lab which is this Shadow app, which we are not going to discuss much because this is a third-party software which we are like in that case it is not required because we are already using the Try app. So leave out this. We don't need that. How we are going to do that is the question. So this is again a little bit of the theory discussion that I told you, that this is the PL, and this particular model that you are looking at, this is called as log distance model. So in this case, you can see alpha is this alpha that you are looking at. This is the path loss exponent. That is the dependent on the environment in which you are making the measurement, alpha. D is the separation of your distance between the transmitter and the receiver, and D naught is something kind of a reference distance. Okay, so all of this we will discuss in theory, but as of now you don't require that much, so we'll omit for the time being. But usually the D naught is greater than this condition, which is called as the Fraunhofer distance. D naught should be greater than the Fraunhofer distance, otherwise it cannot be applicable to over here, because you can see if D naught is becomes 0 over here, D naught is actually a very small distance of separation between the transmitter and the receiver. But D naught cannot be 0, because if it is 0 it becomes infinity. But it cannot be 0, but it can be a little small value compared to D naught, compared to D, that is near to the base station. It should be near to the base station, some reference distance. But we don't need that as of now, so leave out for the time being. I just gave it for some references purpose. And this is where I was discussing in the first slide itself, that the receive power is a factor of D, which is dependent on the transmitted power as well as the path loss. Now, how we are defining this path loss is the different model, which I showed you now only in the ITU guideline, that if it is measured in the urban micro, if it is measured in urban macro, if it is an indoor model, if it is an outdoor model, almost this urban micro and macro, they are outdoor model itself. So that is how we are going to find out. Now in this case, what you have to do is that we are usually referring to how we are going to go about it, is that we are going to find out what is the RSRP value. Okay, what is the RSRP value for the particular measurement. Now what is RSRP? RSRP is reference signal receive power. So we are considering the receive power in the app. From the app we are actually getting, because in what happens is that if it is suppose in as a given, for example in LTE network, there are 98 RSRP values which are defined. Again, this is a standard defined. Okay, and it ranges between -140 dBm to -44 dBm. So you can observe in the next table that I have given over here. So this is a standard given by the LTE forum, that is. Okay, so they have standardized that this is the receive signal strength that should be there. So there are they start from -140 dBm and it goes till -44 dBm. That is, this is the range in which the RSRP should be there. Like now, based on this, it can be good or bad, like that. So what you have to do is, all of you, first let's do one by one. First, download this app of Try MySpeed app. Okay, hopefully all of you are understanding this. So please, you tell me one by one whether you have downloaded it, and good with all the permissions given and all, like we usually do. Don't keep the Wi-Fi on, okay, in your phone. Okay, and go about begin test. Okay, so I would request all of you to participate in this. It's very difficult to see whether you are actually engaged to it. So please let me know, okay, that whether you are doing it. Just raise your hand or something like that, maybe, or if you can respond with back, I can, so that I can see that whether you are doing it or not. Please download the app. Okay, Sandeep has raised his hand. So okay, Meghna, Sandeep, good. Deepak also is there. Please download the app. Okay, very good, very good.
Yes, done, sir.
Done. Everyone, I guess everyone is done. So now when this app is downloaded and you start doing the begin test. Okay, so this will be a typical screenshot that you are supposed to get. So please try doing that. Okay, and in that begin test, if you click on it, you will finally get the fourth screen, the D screen, if you observe over here. Okay, where you will get the download speed, the upload speed, the network delay, and the packet loss. So this is what you are supposed to get out of it. You will find that if you are make sure that you have a mobile data and you select the proper SIM card, like in that aspect. Those things I think you can take care. So the final outcome is the final screen, which is this one that you are getting as an example. So for example, for my case, I am having an Airtel connection. So instead of Vodafone, I will be looking at Airtel. The important thing is few of the observations. The first of the thing that you need to understand is this part that you are getting. Okay, so for all of your app or all of your individual reading, you will get some value over here. Okay, just like I've mentioned, circled now.
Sir, I did not get anything.
You didn't get anything.
No, sir.
What
Like
what
LT,
what you got?
Sir, I too didn't get
just I
anything.
got Geo 4G, that's all.
You do
Me
it
too,
once
sir.
again. You do it once again. You do it once again. Begin test. You could like test again or something like that. Or you restart the app and you do it once again. Because it should work, to be honest.
Sir, I got minus 51 dB.
Good, good. Keep it. I'll come to that. Let's see the other two. Those who were not getting it, can you please respond that whether you are getting it?
No, sir, same. I didn't got.
No value, nothing.
I am getting in the test network speed, but in result, I'm not seeing that DB part, sir.
So I'm getting a value of minus 59 dBm.
Absolutely. That is what you are supposed to get. Something like that. Like it depends on the position you are in, where you are making a measurement. So it will be absolutely random, or it will be varying with respect to individual user. Okay, so there is no such specific value. This 94 that you are getting, this is a just dummy value. It is a Vodafone. I don't know where this measurements were taken, but it is a dummy value. So it doesn't matter that if it is 94 and you are getting 59, doesn't matter. But the point is, those who are not getting it, that's the concern, because you are supposed to get it. Are you in Wi-Fi or you are in mobile data? It's showing Jio.
Mobile data only, sir.
Mobile data only, but it is still not showing
Sir,
anything.
it's showing, but we need to restart the app once.
Okay, so if it is
Yes,
that's
sir,
the
yes, sir.
case,
Now I got, sir.
got it. Good. So the point is that you are supposed to get this, and if I just happen to zoom, wait, let me zoom a little bit. Yeah, this will be better, I think, for all of us. Yeah. So in this case, few things you have to observe. The first thing is you have to understand this is basically the RSRP value that you are getting. RSRP value. Okay, so this is measurement number one, the first measurement that you are taking at a particular location that you are residing in. That location is given by this latitude and the longitude over here. Clear? So suppose you are sitting now in a place and you are making the measurement. So this is the location number one, latitude and longitude. Now, if you move away, suppose you keep a distance of minimum 20 meters. Usually it is better to have more than 50 meters, to be honest. You go in a separate room maybe, or in another part, okay, if possible. That is, I might give you time. For the time being, you don't do it. If you go there, you will get another set of value of RSRP. Okay, and your latitude and longitude won't change much, but you can see that there are decimal figures over here. Okay, this first value 13 point, suppose 13, for my case it's coming around 12.96. okay, so just I'll give you my value which I'm showing now. So my case it is coming 12.9606128. okay, 128. Please make a note that you have to consider all the decimal points whatever you are getting, because otherwise you will find that if you are briefing it till almost these four figures 9606, you will get the same value even if you go for a second observation. So you have to take all the decimal values in the for the latitude and longitude. So this is my latitude, and the longitude that I am getting for the time being is 79.1418958. So similarly you must be getting some kind of a latitude and longitude also. So the point is you have to go on taking around 10 to 15 readings, okay, based on different locations. That is why I'm telling you this, because every one of you are sitting in different places. Each one of you have different geographical positions, as well as the topography is different. So what I would like you to do is that you figure out your own ways. You just walk around, take a note with you, not today, not now, just listen to first. You take a notes with you. You take around 15 readings from at different locations where you are in. Okay, you just keep the RSRP value and note down the downlink speed for that particular location, the latitude and longitude, very important, the latitude and longitude. for that, and for that latitude and longitude, keep all the decimal figures as it is. Clear? So this, if you are doing it, I'll just show you once and I'll come back to this later. So you will get something like this as a table. So this I did it in fact in TT, just for your own reference. This I did it in TT building. So you have there the different set of latitude and different set of longitude and the corresponding RSRP that I obtained. Okay, so for different locations. Now this can be somewhere in the second floor. TT, my cabin is in TT second floor. So second floor, somewhere in the communication lab near to the networking lab. Hopefully all of you are trying to figure out, like understand at least where I was moving around. So all, and then to school office, the Sense school office, there also in the ground floor I took some reading. So based on that, what I did, I make a tabulation of the latitude and the longitude. The Try app has a problem that it cannot extract the data to any Excel. There is no option of doing it. So you have to manually make this arrangement in an Excel file. Simple as that. Okay, you have to note down the latitude, you have to longitude and the RSRP value. Clear with this till now? I'll come to that one by one. Till now, no problem?
Yes, sir, no problem.
No problem. So you have, but make sure that you take at least 15 readings in the corresponding region wherever you are making. The more better is that if you can like spread your reading a little bit. Why? I'll come to that now. Now, after you have made this Excel, save it in terms of the CSV file. Okay, don't save it in the Excel file. You can like it's the same kind of a file, but make sure what you do, you save it in an CSV file. So I'll just show you that also. Give me 1 minute. So this is what I did. This is the CSV file that I have made. Just while saving, you save it in terms of CSV. That's it. Nothing fancy about it. So this is basically the Excel that I have made. These are the latitude, these are the longitude, and these are the corresponding RSRP. Don't look at this E and F. Okay, don't look at these two. Only these three you look at. So you can check here the samples I have taken around 33 reading. So the more you take, the better it is. So 15 is also very less in fact, but at least you make sure that around 30 to 33 reading, because it will take around 15 minutes maybe to finish off this part of it, but it will give you a very exhaustive calculation of it. So you can do it now also. I can give you around 5 minutes time. Okay, just give you like 5 to 10 minutes. What you do is you just walk around your home. Okay, and try testing that whether you take a paper or something like that, or you can even note down in your mobile if you want. I am not that smart enough to do it. So usually what I'll do is I'll have a paper with me. I'll give you 5 minutes time. Okay, now the time is around 8:34. So around 8:35 or like that, I'll ask you to come back once again. Everyone please tell me that within that period, if you have walked around, how you have measured or have you seen the changes in the RSRP values, some random values. It can be, it might not be ever increasing, it can't be ever decreasing, it can be a mix of all. So but I want you to just feel a hands-on experience of measuring the signal strength. So I'm giving you 5 minutes to just walk around your home only. Don't go anywhere, just walk around your home in different parts of your room, parts of your location. If it is a 2-floor building that you are working in, or if you are in a position to you have a you are in a flat or something, you can just move around with stairs. Okay, in different stairs also, and take this test. Okay, so just do this within 5 minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and report me with what you are observing. Okay, I'm just keeping this for for some time. I'll just keep it as mute myself. Okay, you come back. Please do this exercise and then come back.
Sir, should we note down values now?
Yes. Although these values, you might keep it for the future use, but for the time being, I want you to visualize that how the changes are being made or how the sample readings are to be taken. That's what, because I can't show you by hand. I can only show you that how the Excel I have made, but I can't show you that the way the measurements are taken. So that's why I'm instructing you that you walk around your home, you walk around outside your home maybe, if I don't know about the possibility of that, or if you are in a home where there are 2 floors, you walk around between second to first floor and take some test. Okay, so around 3 to 4 set of reading maybe, and take the latitude and longitude and the RSRP reading with you. You can do the screenshot. For the time being, what you can do, you can just take the screenshot of the Chai app just to be sure about it, even if in that case you don't need the Excel sheet for the time being. Okay, because it's difficult to do it right away.